Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa, and this is the Overwatch counter class, and today we're going to talk about the defensive hero. So let's get right into this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about Bastion, everybody's favourite hero. Who the hell is Bastion strong against? Well, Bastion is strong against everybody if Bastion catches you off guard. If Bastion is sitting in a corner with his back protected, so you back right into a corner, and he's in sentry mode, so he's got his big gun turret up, and he fires at you, he will kill you. There is only one hero who can potentially stop this, and this is Genji. So if Genji tries to deflect as your Bastion, you probably just stop firing at him and then continue firing when he stops. So he is strong when he catches you unawares. However, who would I consider him to be really, really strong against? Well, Winston has no way at all of dealing with a Bastion. If Winston jumps onto Bastion, drops his shield down, Bastion can melt the shield in seconds, then Bastion can melt Winston. Winston cannot do enough damage to you to kill you. So if you ever get jumped by a Winston in your Bastion, you need to laugh to yourself because he cannot kill you. He cannot kill you unless for some reason you can't hit that massive 5, 6, 7, 8... No, he's got more than that. 900-pound gorilla that is jumping around in front of you. You're also really good against Pharah if you get Pharah in the air. If Pharah's jumping around and you see, you can mow her down pretty quick. You've got to be aware, though, Pharah can peek around the corner and potentially push you away. But we'll speak about that when we get to the weak section in a jiffy. McCree as well. You're really strong against McCree because McCree has to come up to you to flashbang you to stop you firing. Now, he's never going to be able to do that if you're sitting in sentry mode and you're just blasting away. So you melt McCree. Also Reinhardt, you're going to blast through his shield, you're going to take him out. Roadhog, you're going to blast through his shield and take him out. But do be aware, if Roadhog gets too close, he can hook you, which will pull you out of sentry mode, and then you'll be in scout mode, and he'll just shotgun you and you'll die. So that's pretty much who I think Bastion is strong against. I know it's a bit of a joke, and you can say, well, yes, Bastion is strong against everybody, and he kind of is. But the thing with Bastion is you need to use him cleverly. You need to keep repositioning yourself. The enemy team get wise to where you are. They will counter you, but how the hell will they counter you? Well, Bastion is very weak against people like Hanzo and Widowmaker for obvious reasons. They can snipe you. Bastion doesn't do a lot of damage at range. He does have a very long range with his weapon, but the spread is too much by that point. Whereas if you're trying to shoot a Widowmaker who is sniping you, you're never going to kill her. She is going to kill you pretty quick. Same for a Hanzo. They're going to do a lot of damage to you. And by that extension of Pharah as well, because if she's peeking around corners and firing rockets at you, you cannot stop the rocket coming towards you. It forces you to go back into scout mode and move, at which point she's done her job. She has countered you. You are no longer in that position to stop the enemy team. Zenyatta, you might think, well, maybe Zenyatta's not that good, Sty. Well, he is, because Zenyatta drops his Discord orb on you. He doesn't even have to attack you. You're going to take 50% more damage from all sources there. So suddenly, a lot of other heroes become very dangerous. People like Soldier 76 can melt you down really quick. Even Zenyatta himself, if he starts firing his orbs at you, because they do a considerable amount of damage, especially when Discord orb is on you. Junkrat as well. He can attack you without you being able to see him, which is a major advantage for Junkrat and a massive disadvantage for you. Again, it might not result in you being instantly killed, but it's going to result in you running away, which they've done their job. If you're not in sentry mode, you're not doing your job as Bastion. Genji as well, he's probably the last one, where he can deflect the shots back into you. Now, it's okay, me saying, well, you know what, guys, use your... If Genji comes at you and he uses deflect, just don't fire at him, then fire at him and kill him. That's fine, but there's been loads of times where I've been Bastion and I've fired at Genji and he's deflected and killed me. Because when you're in the heat of the battle, you're firing at all these targets, you see a target, you fire, you do that much damage, it gets reflected back to you so quick, you instantly kill yourself. That's the joy of playing Bastion. So let's move on to Hanzo. Good old Hanzo. He's like Robin Hood, but just not as good. Who is he strong against? Well, did his arrow... Hang on, the animation on his arrow just reset there. That's a bit cheap, Blizzard. I mean, what? Anyway, who is he strong against? Well, he's very strong against Bastion, and he's strong against Torbjorn. For obvious reasons, he can fire at their turrets and take them out. Bastion is sitting in sentry mode, you fire your arrows at him, he can't really do anything about them, he's going to have to move. Same for Torbjorn's turret, you can take it down pretty quick when you fire at the turret. Same for Bastion's turret, Torbjorn's turret, that's what I'm trying to say. Torbjorn, I'm mesmerised by the arrow. I swear the animation resets on it. Blizzard, what are you doing, Blizz? Blizz, what are you doing? Anyway, Zenyatta, you can take Zenyatta out because he's got no health. So you hit Zenyatta, he's probably going to die a lot of the time. So yeah. You're also good against Roadhog, because Roadhog doesn't have the range to deal with you. Hanzo is like a mid-range sniper brawler. He's not like Widowmaker, who doesn't sit right at the back blasting people away. He's in the fight, and he's sort of putting a lot of shots onto people, or putting a lot of shots down range. And he's quite disruptive, Hanzo is. But you know what? Hanzo is really powerful against people like Tracer. And now Tracer, I would say, is probably a counter to Hanzo. However, a lot of people, well, not a lot of people know this, but if you use your scatter arrow and fire it into the ground, so if Tracer jumps onto you and you fire your scatter arrow into the ground, it will detonate into loads of arrows, and there is a very good chance a lot of them will connect with Tracer or connect with Genji, and that will almost all of the time kill them if it hits them. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this because Hanzo is a little bit too random. Like, that ability, it's random if they hit, so it's like, yeah, maybe I'll kill them, oh, I might not do. But it is a more effective way of dealing with people who jump onto you, because you can almost bait them in. Tracer might be thinking, oh yeah, there's Hanzo, I'm going to get him. But you can be thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to leave my scatter arrow. When she comes, I'm going to give it her. So you can actually be a counter to people like that, who are arguably counters to you. That's the beauty of Overwatch. It's not set in stone. I can't just say, yes, you will beat this hero, because you might not, but you will have the advantage. Reinhardt as well, like any other tank, you because of your scatter arrow, you can fire it at their feet, and because if they're large targets like Roadhog or Reinhardt or Winston, that arrow will detonate into them and bounce up, and they'll get hit with like 4+ arrows, and it's going to do massive damage to them, at which point you can also fire at them with your arrow. One thing I would say though with Reinhardt is I wouldn't focus on shooting his shield too much, because you're not going to be able to do enough damage to it quick enough to take that down. I would always prioritize other targets. Obviously, if it's the only thing available to shoot at, then yeah, always shoot at Reinhardt's shield. So who the hell will he be weak against? Well, he's weak against Tracer if your scatter arrow doesn't hit her, because then she'll kill you unless you get a lucky shot. Weak against Genji for the same reasons. Genji can deflect the scatter arrow back at you. He can deflect your standard arrows back at you. He's going to jump all over you. It's going to be hard to hit. It's very hard to aim with Hanzo because you have to take into account the flight of the projectile. It's not pinpoint. It's not hit scan. It's a projectile weapon that's affected by gravity, so it's got drop off. So you have to be like... You almost have to predict where people are going to be when you fire with Hanzo. Now, again, you can be really good with Hanzo and start taking out Tracers and Genjis. It's completely possible. Again, it's the beauty of Overwatch. Winston, I would say, though, if Winston jumps onto you, you're going to have a big problem, because you're not going to be able to do enough damage to him before he kills you, because he's not just going to stand still in front of you and let you headshot him. He's going to jump all over you. He's giving you the Tesla gun. You're just getting wrecked. He's going to drop his dome shield down, which is going to absorb some damage that you're going to try and get onto him. So I would say if he's gunning for you, he's going to counter you. But still, you can take him out if you've got him at medium to long range. So, you know, don't be too worried if you see a Winston about. Don't think, oh god, he's going to get me. He's going to kill you if he jumps onto you. Yeah, but probably isn't if he's out like in the battlefield and you can work on him. Kind of the same thing applies to Reinhardt as well. If Reinhardt is right on top of you, you're dead, because you can't get away from him. He's just going to smash your head in. Yeah, you might be able to climb up a wall quickly and get out of his way, but a lot of the time he's probably going to take you out. Now, you're also very weak against the Widowmaker. When I make these videos, and when I say weak and strong against, I'm almost coming at it from the angle of you playing the character. So if I played a Hanzo against a Widowmaker, and the Widowmaker was also me, the Widowmaker would kill the Hanzo, because she's got the range advantage on him. Like, never try and out-snipe a Widowmaker with Hanzo. Now, it is doable. I have done it. But if all is absolutely level, Widowmaker has such an advantage. She has a hit scan weapon, which does massive damage. And if she shoots you in the head, you are dead. Your weapon is not. It's projectile. You've got to guide it in. It's much more difficult to aim with. So I would say that she is definitely a counter to a Hanzo. So if you do have a Hanzo on the other team, well, like for me, if there's a Hanzo on the other team and it's causing us problems, I will go into Widowmaker and then start killing the Hanzo. That would be the sort of default thing I would do. Ah, yes, good old Junkrat. He is my favourite. You got to love a bit of Junkrat. So who is Junkrat strong against? Well, Junkrat, he's very strong against Bastion. When you know where Bastion is, you can take him out and you can make a mess of him. He's also very strong against people like Tracer, like Genji, because if you get them in your trap, they are dead. You see, Junkrat, he's very frightening to take on at close range. A lot of people at the moment are worried about the state of McCree, and we know that McCree is going to have some sort of balance tweak done to him. But Junkrat is quite a good counter to McCree, because if McCree comes to get you, you can get him in your trap, you can throw your concussion bomb at him and blow him away. You can, I mean, if anyone gets stuck in your trap, it's pretty much a guaranteed kill, unless it's like a Roadhog or, you know, a Winston maybe, and they've got full health. You're not going to be able to burn them down, or a Reinhardt. But everybody else, you can take them out. I guess so, yeah, you're pretty good against McCree. So you're also good against Reinhardt. You can get rid of Reinhardt's shield really, really quick. So when you see a group of players together, like on a payload, or maybe they're contesting a point, you can shell the point with Junkrat, and you can absolutely do massive damage. A lot of the time, when you play Junkrat, you can come out of at the end of the game with the most damage done on the team, just because of the sheer quantity of damage which is always going off. The bombs are AoE, the concussion blast, your ultimate, your riptide, you can go in and hit massive people with that. He's a very good hero, Junkrat is. And he's almost applicable in a lot of different situations. He does have, though, a couple of hard counters. People I'd be very worried about taking on. Probably primary amongst all of those is Pharah. Now, on the previous video I put together, I noticed people in the comments were saying, well, I've killed Pharah's Junkrat, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so have I. I've killed Pharah. If Pharah's low enough for me to hit her, because you can fire your bomb's fairly high in the air. You can throw your concussion bomb pretty high in there, and that can hit her. In fact, it's a good tip to throw your concussion bomb at Pharah. You're very rarely going to get her in your trap because she's not going to be on the floor that much. But a good Pharah, again, going back to this idea of equal skill levels of players playing each other, will almost always kill a Junkrat because she'll be high in the air, raining rockets down on you, and you honestly don't have many ways of dealing with her unless she starts to land. Like, the best thing to do with a Pharah I've found, if you're against a good one with Junkrat, is to detonate your concussion blast and almost throw yourself into the air and try and get up to her height. So as she's falling, you're falling as well, because then you can try and attack her, and then when she gets low, it's going to be sort of advantage to Junkrat. But again, it's very iffy. It's one of the beautiful reasons of Overwatch, like I keep saying in this video. It's not set in stone, but Pharah would have the advantage. Zarya can be quite difficult as well for Junkrat, because she can use her shields to just remove the damage that you're going to do to her. When she's chasing you around, if she doesn't get stuck in the trap, you're probably going to have a problem. In fact, I would almost go as far as to say I'd throw the concussion bomb at her and blow her away and then run off. I wouldn't want to be fighting her because she can do quite a lot of damage to you. And with her shields up, when you're firing your projectiles in, well, they take time to detonate, right? If you miss her, or, you know, she can see them coming at her, she can activate a shield and charge up her attack off you, and it's not nice, but it's obviously something good Zarya players will do, and it will pretty much counter Junkrat. I guess Winston, when he jumps onto you, can be a problem, but again, if you get Winston in the trap, like, I'd always be ready with the trap. If you get jumped with Winston, chuck the trap on the floor and almost try and get him into it, then back off and then hit him, because Winston doesn't have the range. And if you get him in the trap and unload bombs into him, then chuck your concussion bomb to blast him away, you're going to do considerable damage to him, or even use the concussion bomb to move around. This is probably one of the reasons why I like Junkrat, because he's got a lot of options in a lot of different situations. He's got an escape which he can use to push people away or push himself away, and it also does quite a lot of damage. Genji can be a problem as well, again, because he can deflect projectiles back into you and he can dive through you and attack. The good thing about Genji is when he's trying to dive onto you to get the kill, if he does kill you, you'll probably kill him with your bombs that you leave on the floor when you die, which is always pretty funny. Yeah, and also maybe Tracer, but as I said, if you've got the trap and you throw the trap down, then you're probably going to control Tracer. But he's very good, Junkrat. I do like Junkrat. He's a good hero. Oh, Mei is Mei. Just look at her little face. Right, so you're probably laughing and thinking, surely Mei's strong against everybody's Sty. We don't need to be told who she's strong against or who she's weak against. But Mei, I think a lot of people have got problems with Mei because they jump onto Mei and try and kill her, which is the worst plan ever, because Mei is just going to kill you. She's the anti-jump on me character. That kind of sounds wrong, but if you jump onto Mei, she's probably going to freeze you and then she's going to kill you. You do not want that. So who is she strong against? Well, Genji, obviously, Tracer. These people come in, they get froze, and they die. They've got no health to begin with anyway. She's going to freeze them, and then she's going to glass them in the head, and they're dead. Goodbye. Winston, you can freeze Winston. Roadhog, you can freeze Roadhog. Reinhardt, you can freeze him. Anybody who wants to try and fight you at close range with their weapon, you can beat them. Reaper, you can beat them, because you can be very cute. But also people like Bastion as well, you can take them out, because what's Bastion going to do to you when you put a wall in front of his face? He's doing nothing, is he? You've just taken him out of the fight. It's completely ridiculous. And just touching on Mei's wall, I mean, I'm going to make a very good video on this, like advanced Mei play, but Mei's wall is really good because you can use it to split teams in half, you can use it for movement and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, Mei, she's strong against anybody who wants to jump onto her and is feeling a bit jazzy and wants to take her out. Because remember, even if you're trying to take her out with like a Roadhog, for example, if you hook her, well, all she's going to do is go into the ice block, and then she's just going to walk away. And then she's going to freeze you and probably put a wall in your face. Mei's very irritating, but she's strong against anybody who wants to dive on top of her. Her range damage is fairly good if you get pretty good with it, because it's hard to aim. It's a projectile with travel time. But it's got a lot of damage, especially if you're cracking the headshots off. But yeah, just don't jump onto a Mei. Try and shoot her from range. So who's Mei weak against then? Well, I just said she's pretty strong against Reaper, because Reaper jumps onto you, you can freeze him, you can take him out, you can use your ice block, he'll run away, you can defend yourself against Reaper. But if Reaper does get you and you are completely unaware, he will blast you down. Shotgun blast to the back of your head, they're going to take you out, and it's going to be bad for you. Pharah, she's quite difficult to deal with. She's probably going to be pretty strong against you, again, just because she's flying around in the air. Yeah, you do have an option to fire at her, which is more than, let's say, a Junkrat does, reliably, but she's still going to do quite a bit of damage to you from above. She's going to probably force you to wall, probably force you to use your ice block, and things like that. Zarya, she is also fairly difficult. If she gets on top of you and she starts pumping the damage into you, and then she starts using her shields and things like that, it can almost be impossible for you to deal with it, because when her shields are active on her, you can't freeze her. You need to freeze people to control them. But on the other hand, if you do manage to be cute with your skills, you should be able to freeze a Zarya. So it's not like a stupidly hard counter. I'd say the only really hard counter to Mei would be a Widowmaker, because if Widowmaker caps her in the head, well, she's dead. But you can attack her from range as Widowmaker, and Mei can't really do that much to you. Yeah, sure, she can fire back at you, but you're never just going to be involved in a 1v1 duel with Mei. You're probably going to want to take her out as the team fights begin. But that's what makes Mei really strong at the moment. She's got a lot of health, she's got a lot of durability, her skills are really great for disrupting enemy pushes, and she's always in the middle of the fight, where she's the best against everybody else, practically in the middle of a fight. You need to use long-range heroes to take her out. Soldier 76 can be pretty good against Mei as well, because you want to fire at her from medium range. Even a Hanzo can take her out as well, because anybody who's close range, you don't want to fight Mei, really. Medium range guys, yeah, and then longer range, possibly, yeah. But again, she does have ways of dealing with whatever the hell you're going to throw at her, so you've got to be aware she's quite dangerous, Mei. Next up is old Torbjorn, the little Swedish dwarf guy. I'm trying to think of an IKEA joke, but I don't have any. Meatballs come from IKEA? What? Anyway, who's he strong against? Torbjorn is very strong against Genji and Tracer and any low hit point hero that wants to dive him, because his right click ability, so his shotgun blast, whatever that's bound to on whatever control scheme you use, or if you're playing on the consoles, it will absolutely mince low health heroes. It will murder them. I mean, I would use that to blast it into tanks as well if they want to get onto you. It's deceptively powerful. His standard attack as well, where he fires the rivet, does suffer from gravity drop-off. But again, that does considerable damage, and it's almost like a sting in the tail that you don't expect to get off of Torbjorn. So this makes him strong against a lot of heroes. But what's his main thing? Well, his main thing is his turret. So who's that going to be good against? Now, Torbjorn's turret doesn't do amazing damage, but it does kind of piddly damage. I think it's 14 damage per second. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, guys, but when it's just in level 2, and it's like firing, and it pokes away at people. It almost persuades people not to come into areas, and it's pretty good for that. So it's fairly good at tracking onto a Pharah. If Pharah jumps out into the open and she doesn't know where the turret is, the turret will start attacking her. It's going to be annoying. Things like Tracer and Genji and stuff, if they start moving around, it's going to be annoying, and it's going to start hitting them. But who would he be like? Who would I say Torbjorn is like the counter to, and he is massively strong against? I don't think he is. Like, he is. Like, Tracer's probably not going to kill him if she jumps onto him. She might kill him though. He's sort of a weird one. Torbjorn is. I mean, when his ultimate's available and he cracks the ultimate and his turret goes to level 3, and his fire rate increases and he gets more health and all that stuff and more armor, he's really powerful. But again, you can say that about a lot of heroes with their ultimate. He's a weird one for me, Torbjorn. He's my least played hero by far, and I don't know. I just think early, it's still the same as it was in closed and open beta. Torbjorn, you see him early game, and then you never see him again. So I don't know, he's a weird one, old Torbjorn. I'm not really too sure who he's that strong against, to be fair. Because there seems to be heroes you can use that would just be more effective, like, why don't you just use a Bastion, you know, or... poor Torbjorn. Who's he weak against, though, old Torbjorn? Well, he probably doesn't want Winston jumping on him again, but at least he can do some sort of damage to Winston, so it's not like a total, oh god, Winston's murdered me kind of thing. Tracer can move onto you, and you can... and she might give you a problem if she's diving about using a rewind. In fact, you would have to use your rewind if you Tracer against Torbjorn, because if Torbjorn starts hitting you with his shotgun blast ability, you're probably going to die. So you rewind, you heal, you come back onto him. Of course, he can't heal himself. Actually, another thing with Torbjorn, he does drop down the armor packs, which can be quite powerful. But again, it's not really much in the way of strength or weaknesses. That's kind of more of my guide video stuff bleeding back into this. Weak. Probably Widowmaker, Hanzo, but just for obvious reasons. They can get him from range. I mean, he can still fire at them, but I guess he's a small target. That kind of goes for him. Junkrat, because he can blow your turret up, and you don't want that. Farah, because she can blow your turret up, although if she jumps out into the open, you do kind of have the advantage. But yeah, she could make a mess of your turret. Reinhardt is just going to stop the damage your turret does as the team move up, and they'll kill your turret from behind his shield. So yeah, poor Torbjorn. He's probably the worst hero in the game. I'm sorry, Tom, but it's true. But Kotaku said Soldier is, so yeah. Moving on. Alright, then finally we've got Widowmaker. Oh lord, Widowmaker is one of my highest played heroes. I do love me a little bit of Widowmaker. So who's Widowmaker strong against? Well, it's kind of simple who Widowmaker is strong against. She's a sniper. So anybody who can't attack her back, she will do damage to them because, well, she's got massive range. She's very good against Zenyatta. Currently, Zenyatta's got 150 health and shields. You do that as a body shot from fully charged with your sniper rifle. So you can kill him if you shoot him anywhere. Yeah. Just let that sink in, yeah. You're good against killing Farah as well. Enemy team's got a Farah that's doing a lot of damage. You swap into Widowmaker and you just blow Farah away. Farah, it's difficult for her to attack you. When she's up in the air, she's such an easy target. There's nothing blocking line of sight. You can just fire straight into her and you can absolutely take her out like you wouldn't believe. You're also good against Mei, because Mei doesn't really have a way of dealing with you. Yeah, she could chuck a wall in your face. Yeah, she could try and fire at you. But if you're quick, and you really should be if you're a Widowmaker player, you can take Mei out pretty quick. You're good against Bastion, because Bastion's sitting in the corner. He's miles away. You've got the range on him. You can just blow him away. If you've ever got a problem with a Bastion that's camping a point, swap to Widowmaker. You don't even have to be that good with Widowmaker, because Bastion's not going to move. You just get line of sight onto him and just fire, fire, fire. You will absolutely wreck him. You'd also be good at taking out somebody like McCree, because McCree, back in closed beta, McCree used to do massive damage. He had no damage drop off at range with his revolver, which is a bit ridiculous. So he could kill you, but now that's not the case. You can kill him from range. Obviously, if he jumps onto you, you're going to die, but that's pretty much the deal with Widowmaker. If somebody gets up to you, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. Yeah, you do have options to try and deal with them. You can be cute with your grappling hook to move around. You can use your Venom Mine to try and take them out. A lot of the time, though, I like to use the Venom Mine as an early warning system, unless there's a massive team fight going on, in which case you should be firing the Venom Mine into the team fight, because the extra damage it does will actually add up and do quite a bit of damage. So anyway, who's she weak against? Because I've kind of bled into talking about that. Well, she's going to be weak against Genji if Genji jumps onto you, for obvious reasons, because it's going to be hard for you to deal with that. I'm not saying you can't deal with it, but it's going to be hard. Winston, you are dead. D.Va, you are dead. You cannot do enough damage to them before they can kill you. They are two really hard counters towards a Widowmaker. So if there's a Widowmaker on the enemy team and it's killing your team, and you'll know this because you'll just see it in the kill feed. Kill, kill, kill Widowmaker. Jesus Christ, she's probably killed you a few times. Just jump onto Winston, jump onto her, and then kill her. Or use D.Va, jump up to her and kill her. She cannot kill those two heroes, so they will mess you up. Tracer as well, she gets onto you, she's going to do damage to you. But because Tracer's got fairly low health, and kind of the same thing applies to Genji, if you do catch them with your Venom Mine and then you fire into them with your assault rifle, you can potentially take them out. So it's not stupidly set in stone. It's not like the Widowmaker, the Winston and D.Va, where you are dead if they jump onto you. But you just have to be cute with your movement, predict what people are doing, and try and keep moving around as Widowmaker. I think that's pretty much it in terms of who she's really weak against and who she's really strong. Obviously Torbjorn as well, if I mentioned that. She's good against Torbjorn, take his turret out and all that good stuff. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the counter class for the defensive heroes. Now, I've tried to be a bit more concise. I know I still do jump around quite a bit when I talk about stuff. That's just how I am. I can't really change that. I like to be real when I make videos instead of this robotic guy just reading lists of information off, because I find that to be ultra neckbeardy shit, ladies and gentlemen. If I wouldn't watch it, I ain't gonna make it. So I hope this helps, guys. If you like the changes I've done to this, then like the video and let me know in the comments below. If you've got any other ideas, because I do read the comments for ideas, guys, because I mean, you guys wanted to see more visual stuff on the screen, and hopefully there are. Oh, there has been in this video, and it's been good. And yeah, we'll move on to the tanks for the next video. Alright guys, I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. If you subscribe to the channel, that'll be awesome. You can get more Overwatch wonderful content like the video. And follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. And I'll catch you next time, guys. Toodaloo.